Ta-da! Wow. Wow, that's gonna be so cool. So, I got the second coat on the wall. It's looking really good. I'm really happy with how it looks. And I put a second coat on here. It's still drying. And then the base that this sits on, that will be my shower in the future, that's drying in my garage. I could probably put that back in tomorrow. But the cabinet's screwed down. I hooked the electrical back up. The fridge is cooling down. My next project for today is setting up this headliner here. I'm gonna cut out a piece of wood and upholster it, drill a hole for a dome light to be. Late last night, after dark, I spliced one of these cables. There was a cable in here for the dome lights originally, and I spliced that so I could have one here and one up here by the door. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on that. I had a piece of wood that's just barely not wide enough. I'm still gonna use it. It's long enough this way, and then if you look up here, it only comes to about like an inch away from this. So I'd like it to cover it, but that's okay. I'll put a piece of trim up here later. I think it's gonna look good, and let's get started on that. So I ordered more of this fabric from Etsy. It's only like $7.50 a yard, so I got a whole bunch so I can do more detail. This is the piece of wood. I've already cut this round edges to match the van. All I did was take this and draw a line and cut it, and it's looking pretty good. So we're gonna drill a hole for the wires for this dome light and upholster it. So I'm just using this Loctite spray adhesive I got at Walmart. Couldn't find it at Home Depot. But you spray on both sides, let it get tacky for a little bit, and then it adheres really well. And since I can't staple the upholstery to the back of this, I'm gluing it. And I ran out of glue at the last edge. So we'll see. Maybe I can get like... Nah, there's nothing. Nothing. It's still very, 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 very hot. Okie dokie. Aha! Ta-da!
Nice work. Oh, snap.
So I just gotta get my screws from inside, and hopefully there's enough room on the side that these can fit in or something. So I got the headliner in. It's looking pretty good. The dome light's on, and you can see it's got white mode, off, and red mode for when I open up the doors or when I activate it with the dome light switch on the dash. But this is looking pretty good. There were some folds in the fabric from shipping, which are permanent. That's okay. I don't think I'll mind those. The screws, since I ran out of glue, we're bunching up the fabric because the fabric was a little bit loose. But again, it's all good. I'm really happy with how this looks. All red. So today's the day. I didn't film anything last night. I was just trying to cruise through. But yeah, I cut out the frame so I can fit my sink and stove combination. I also cut out the countertop, and then late last night when I got home, I hung it up in the garage and I put a coat of polyurethane on it, but it was like a triple coat polyurethane, so one coat and I'm good. I'm gonna screw that in today and hopefully drop in the sink and stove, maybe get that secured in and start hooking up the water pump. So this black line is where the table is cut to, and then since the table is, you know, almost an inch thick, 7/8, I have some more room where the sink and stove taper off, so I cut the frame a little bit less. I had to cut this right here, but should still be good to screw my drawers to. But yeah, I'll get that put together. So here's the workshop. I use this clothes rack and cut some hangers, and I put my countertop on it and put some really thick polyurethane on. It came out pretty good. I coated every side, even the edges. Since this is where the sink's gonna be, people are gonna be putting their drinks on it. I wanted both sides to be protected from water damage. So the inside, outside, all of it has been coated. This is the back side, so I didn't try too hard to even it out, but still looks really good. And front side is looking really, really good. I don't know why, but I really hate this blue stuff. Wow. It's probably so stuck on there from being in different temperatures, the heat, everything. All right. For the moment of truth. Ta-da! Wow. Wow, that's gonna be so cool. I can cook here, brush my teeth and wash my dishes here. It's pretty deep. I could actually store dirty dishes in there if I want. And I can sit here while I cook. Oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be so great. Here we go. So it'll have a drain here. It'll have a folding faucet. So it folds down and I lift it up. It's got like a little knob on it. These are the knobs for the stove. And you got a glass top. And it looks really good. I'm gonna shine it up, but I could put stuff on here. I could prep on here. My thinking is I'll have magnetic cutting boards on here so I can do my prep work here. Cooking here, and I spaced it as far over, one, so I had more drawer space, and two, I could put all my spices here, spatulas, whatever. I can put all my stuff here while I'm cooking and prep over here. I think it'll be nice. Wow, it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, cupboard space here. This will be drawer space. That's just there temporarily since my other one burned out. I had the wrong panel for the device I had, and it only accepts 25 volts, and my panel puts out like 40 volts, so it burned up immediately. That will stay. The fuses will stay behind the drawers. The drawer will only come to, whoa, it's pretty deep. That's like my whole arm. So the drawer will only come to here. This will be moved. And then the bottom drawer can only come to the edge of the gas fill. So those cables will be fine. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. There you have it, guys. My kitchen is almost set up. Look at how beautiful that is. You got a faucet here, hot, cold water, control knobs for the 2 burners, and underneath I still got to plumb everything up, but you got hot and cold water out, gas out, the drain, water in from the tank, drain out to the street, gas coming from the propane tank. So I just need to install the water pump and plumb things together, get some connections, and we'll be good to go. We'll have running water and a stove in the van. It's exciting. It's super exciting. No more camp stove for me. I'll still probably use it on hikes and stuff, but wow. Fridge, sink, stove, it's coming together. So gang, I stopped at Home Depot and I got some new piping. I replaced the water line that comes in the tank because this is what it was. This is what it looked like. It was one time clear like that, and now it's all black and dry and gross. So yeah, replaced all the lines, and then I needed an adapter for the hose because the one that comes off the sink is bigger. And then the fitting that was coming into the van was this big. So I got this hose to fit it and an adapter to join them together. But then I just decided to drill the hole bigger. So the drain just goes straight out, and eventually that will go into a tank in the future, but for now it's just going out. Okay, so we got a mess of stuff down here. So, lessons learned. I kept the drain, the water in, and the gas in from the original van build, thinking I could use them. And then when I started this project, this size drain was a different one than that one, so I had a bunch of adapters to hook it up. The gas was the same situation. It was a bunch of different adapters all connected to each other. And so I realized I could just make it a lot simple by taking everything out and redoing it. It was very difficult to get some of these out. This one was a little bit easier. I took the drain out, and this one just goes straight down out of the floor of the van, and I'll eventually have a gray water tank. This one, this hose just fits on this kind of nipple thing with a hose clamp, and then same, it goes down to another nipple and screws directly onto the tank, where before it was a rubber hose that was screwed onto the tank, screwed up to a fitting on the floor, screwed to another fitting, screwed to copper piping, and then I would have had 2 adapters just to put this on a nipple. So I took all that out. Actually sliced my finger on the metal of the floor trying to wrench it off, but got it out. This goes directly to the tank. This goes directly outside. And then the water goes directly into the pump. And then this hose goes directly to the tank. I replaced all the hose. It was really dirty. And I have this pump wired up right now just to a simple lamp switch, so I can pull it on and off. But in the future, when I do my entire electrical system, I'm gonna have a rocker switch above the cab. I'll have all my switches up there between the sun visors. So that'll be pretty cool. So all I need to do is fill up the water tank and test everything by connecting the positive and negative to the bus bar, which I tried to do the other night, but I don't know if there's some kind of glue or a thread lock or a Loctite, whatever, on the screws, but they're like impossible to get out. So I'm gonna try to do that today. Fill up the tank and test the sink. The stove is working. I've already tested that. The only concern I have is I don't have the hot water heater yet, or I'm not gonna get that for a while. So I'm worried, since this hot water isn't connected to anything, when I turn the knob on from cold to hot, the cold water will come up and go through the hot faucet because there's no pressure behind it. So I might have to get like some kind of plug for this. We'll see. It's all wired up. The switch is on. And remember, this is just a temporary switch until I have it wired to the console above the cab. But perfect. And this tilts down. This closes. Boom. Boom. And what's nice is this actually stays off when it's pressurized. The switch is a good safety because if I'm driving and this loosens up and the switch is on, once that pressure is released, it's just going to start pumping water into the van. So it'll be good to have this as a permanent switch. I'm going to have a rocker, not a rocker, I'll show you. I'll have this cool switch, one with a little cap. So when it's on, oh man. There you go. So this is the switch. I'll lift this up and you can flip it on and it'll have a red light, and then I'll like see that it's on. It'll be lifted up and glowing red, and I'll know that the water pump's on. So when I'm driving, flip it off and it'll look cool. I'll have a bunch of these for things that I don't want on always. I have orange, red, and then I'll have just normal toggle switches for other things like the light switches. I got these cool chain switches. I thought those would look cool to have some chains coming out of the switchboard that I can pull on. And I got this cool switch. This is like what old cars have for their headlights. You just pull it out like you would turn on your headlights. So I might make this one the winch. It'll go to like a solenoid. So I pull this, it'll activate the solenoid, give power to the winch. So that'll be cool.